Yes, this is a panel SE review session for Adam Morgan from Carousel. Adam is a sales engineer at Carousel, and he's going to take us through his customer presentation today. Go ahead, Adam.
Thank you. Good morning. Adam Morgan here for Carousel Industries, back in front of you to review the Polycom solution that we are going to recommend for your visual communications. This is based upon our previous conversations that we've had and meetings that we've had. So we're going to really quick just do a overview before we get into going through the challenges and the requirements based upon those challenges that we need to meet. And then going into the solution in a high-level overview before we get into more of a technical overview. So, just as a recap, Mission Analytics is a nationwide medical lab, right? Multiple offices. You're LA, Dallas, and you're opening up your new HQ in Secaucus, New Jersey here, and you are going to be setting the new standards with that new office. And coming with that new office is, setting Skype for Business as a unified collaboration, and then setting room standards too as well for the equipment that goes in there and how you guys are going to communicate. You are 2,500 employees, right? And across those three offices, but you also have some smaller regional offices, as well as you're getting more and more remote workers working from home or on the road. So really what we're going to do is we're going to address those challenges with those, and we're going to start off with the first challenge. Is your growth. All right? You're opening that new office. You're getting you're getting more and more business. You're dealing more and more with partners, with customers, remotely off your network. You're dealing more and more employees are becoming those remote employees as well. And obviously your regional offices, you're looking to expand to as well. So we're gonna address your growth and how communications need to be worked on. Better communications within those growths. Additionally, right, you do have some equipment, right, visual, audio visual equipment and video conferencing equipment, right. But these really there was no standard before then, and it's kind of got left behind, and all that equipment's aging, right. It's not supportable. It is end of life. End of sale, end of support. In addition, right, with your Skype for Business communications go forward as your platform, there is no integration with these older equipment. So we have aged equipment. And as I stated, end of life, end of support, no S for Skype for Business integrations, capabilities. All right. We also have a need to drive adoption, right? So we need to make sure that, if you're going to invest in this, we need to drive that adoption, right? Right now, currently, it's not being used. And it's currently not being used due to the fact that, it's old equipment. And it's not easy to work, easy to schedule, easy to connect. So we need to drive user adoption. And the reason that user adoption is an issue is because ease of use. No easy way. Now, another item that we have here that is a challenge is that, and it kind of ties into aged equipment and user adoption, is that the fact is, a lot of times if you need to, you need some IT support. IT support to help you schedule the rooms, kick off the rooms, dial the rooms, and use the rooms. So there's a bit of a need and a challenge there to alleviate that IT support. So based upon these challenges, I see these as requirements to help alleviate those challenges. All right. So the requirements, we need better comms. And we need better comms internally, externally, and with Skype for Business. Right? Another requirement that I see is that we need to set a standard. And that standard needs to be set with how you schedule, connect, and also at the endpoint level. So those are the requirements that I have taken away based upon the challenges that we have. All right. So I'm going to take a look into the high-level solution overview. So the solution that we came up to address these challenges and meet these requirements is the Polycom Clarity. And in this case, we are going to use a private hosted solution. All right. This private hosted solution will be a license-based solution. It's also going to be OpEx. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow you guys to license up the solution for how you need it today, with the flexibility to grow as you need it tomorrow and the days to come. This Polycom Clarity solution will also give us our Skype for Business integration capability. Now, with it also being, so where's my Skype? Yep. Also being in a hosted solution in the cloud, right? We're going to alleviate some of that IT support needs, right? We're not going to need you guys to sit there and manage those server software, software updates in on-prem, whether it's hardware, whether it's VM that you guys choose. It's going to be up in the cloud, and all the maintenance and management will be handled via Polycom, as it is a Polycom service. This Polycom Clarity is also going to help us address the scheduling. All right, and also the connection. So that's going to help us set the standard for our scheduling, our connection, which is addressing, hopefully, and it will address, I should say, our user adoption and ease of use. The other portion of a solution is going to be standardization on an endpoint solution. What this does, we're going to come in, we are going to tell you or recommend endpoints per rooms so that you have a single platform endpoint solution with a single user face, allowing you guys to drive adoption as well as ease of use. Now, by standardizing, you're also going to work on your IT support needs at the endpoint level. Right? We're not going to, by standardizing and training and creating a easy to schedule, easy to use solution was going to alleviate the IT support needs. So I'm going to take a moment here. I just want to do a really quick high-level overview just to show you how this is going to look without getting too technical at this point. Once I get done with this, we're going to take a deeper dive into the technical portions of this solution. So currently, we got the corporate network, right? All right, and off your corporate network is where you have your LA office, Dallas office, and your new Secaucus headquarters. You're also tied off in that corporate network. You're going into the internet. Now, with your new Skype for Business deployment, right? You're using O365. All right, and within that O365 deployment is where you have Skype for Business. You have Exchange, as well as Outlook. All hosted up there. And that is connected to your corporate network. So our solution is, as I stated, is the Clarity hosted cloud solution. What we're going to do is we're going to tie that into your network, and we're also going to tie that into your Office 365. Now, with this setup at a high level is going to give you guys communications between your corporate offices to anybody that's sitting on the internet, your business partners, your customers, remote workers, anybody that's not on the corporate network. All right? With Office 365 currently in place, you guys have that capability, but we're going to tie that into the Clarity so that we have that interop capability between standards-based solutions and your Office 365 Skype for Business clients. So at a high level, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take a deeper dive now. If anybody's got any questions, please let me know.
Yeah, so if you're going to cover this later, it's okay. Are you going to discuss how the security of the corporate network is ensured with the cloud-based solution in Office 365?
Yes, so that we're going to take care of that when we go down deeper into the overall solution of what Clarity comes with.
Okay, I can wait.
All right. So at this point, I am going to take a deeper look into what Clarity comes with, right? What you get with Clarity, into the what we call the Polycom stack, which is Clarity, which is the Clarity offering. So within Clarity. There are devices. Not devices, but there's a stack here of solutions, and we're going to start off with the RMX. All right, this is your bridge. All right. So as far as the bridge, it'll host your standards base, H323, and SIP endpoints on this. It is also your point of interop between Office 365. All right, and we'll get into that a little bit later. The next box is what we call Resource Manager. This is your management. As far as the Resource Manager, it is your management platform. It allows you to do endpoint provisioning, allows you to do software upgrades of your endpoints. In addition, it is a central location for your asset management, so you can make sure that you understand what you have deployed across your network as far as devices, endpoints. We also have what is called the DMA. So this is a call control, and what this does is gatekeeper registration for 323, SIP registration or registrar for your SIP endpoints. Also, it allow you to do bandwidth management, and with you guys, you have an Avaya phone system. With this, we'll be able to do a SIP trunk, into the DMA, allowing us to bring in your Avaya audio participants into our bridge calls. Another device here is the RPAD. Now, the RPAD is an access, real presence access director. What this does is it's your firewall traversal. All right? Your video border proxy. Now, this portion will actually reside on your network, allowing secure communications with Polycom Clarity. Now, another portion of the Clarity is Real Connect. Now, where Real Connect will sit will be between the Polycom Clarity and O365. Okay. What that does, it gives you that cascade link between Skype for Business and the Polycom Clarity, giving everybody who joins a call their native experience, whether it is from Office 365, Skype for Business, connection from a desktop and Skype for Business client, mobile phone, whatever. You're going to get that native experience on that end. As far as connection to the RMX, you're going to have that Clarity or Real Connect connection between the RMX and Skype for Business, and you will still see your native experience that you would normally see in a standard video call. Now we also have Content Connect, which is part of here. Content Connect also ties into Office 365. What Content Connect does, it does the transcoding between the two standards, content sharing standards of Office 365 and Polycom Clarity. It does the transcoding between BFCP and H239. So, without that, there's no way for us to really share content bidirectional with this. And the last portion is what we call OTD, one-touch dialing. Now this is going to be very key because this is going to tie into our ease of use, right? What one-touch dialing will do will allow us to integrate with the Exchange and Outlook, allowing you guys to schedule these calls, utilize and bring in endpoints, standards-based, as well as anybody that's joining via Skype for Business. It'll allow you to bring them in and join a call via a single invite. And all you have to do is just open, as you do your normal workflow, open up your Outlook invite the attendees, invite the rooms, and have them join how they see fit, whether it's not just click to join from the invite, or if there's a dialing string for a solution that does not have one-touch dialing capability, as some of your old systems may or may not have. And then when we get into the endpoints, we're going to talk about the touch control. But with one-touch dialing, the touch control, and those new endpoints, they'll have that one click to join. You'll get that button in there to be able to join that call without needing to know or put in any kind of dialing string. So with this solution, real quick, we're expanding your ability for communications, right? Giving you the ability to do inter-office calling, right? Outside your network calling, integration into Office 365, all right? By utilizing the full Clarity stack here with the bridge, the resource manager, call control, firewall, traversal, order proxy, real connect interop capability, the content connect, content transcoding, and as well as bringing in ease of use with the one-touch dialing. And let's not forget, the ability to bring in our audio participants too. All right. So at this point, I'm going to just go through a call scenario and how this workflow is going to go. I know I touched on it a little bit ago, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to detail this out here. So at C-Caucus, say, we're going to have a call here. It's going to be a bit of a training call, but C-Caucus is going to host it, and they're going to be hosting it from training room 1. And that's going to be a new endpoint, right? It's going to be one of our new endpoints that we're going to implement. And we will talk about, those options that we have available to us here shortly. But, say Dallas is joining, and Dallas is joining from a huddle room 1. And Dallas is starting to do their rollout of their upgrade. And what Dallas has is a Polycom Trio, which is another endpoint that we will discuss here shortly. But it's also video capable and Skype for Business. LA, poor LA, still has not had any upgrades. They have one of your old H323 endpoints, right? It's an older endpoint. It can call, it can tie in, but it's just not upgraded yet, so it doesn't have the full solution set that we're looking to implement corporate-wide. And say here, out on the internet, you have a remote worker who's just tying in from Skype for Business. All right. So if you're going to initiate this, this invite, you go to your Outlook, right? You type up your meeting invite. You invite the training room 1. You invite huddle room 1 over in Dallas, and you invite LA's 323 endpoint that they have in the conference room. All right. Send that invite out. So that invite goes out. Now with the one-touch dialing, invite will then communicate to the DMA to let training room 1 know what it needs to dial. And it'll also set it up as a single button to join on that interface within that room. Huddle room 1 trio, it's a Skype for Business. It'll get its invite there and show that calendaring and invite on that trio and giving you a button to join to as well. Now with the older 323 that has not been upgraded, it would give you a dialing string for you to be able to connect to an IP address, or if it's a SIP endpoint, which is not, we're calling it a 323 endpoint, it would give you that SIP dialing capability. Now your remote worker, sitting at his home office, he's just going to get that invite. He's going to see that, he's going to join that, with a click to join, and it's going to bring up his Skype for Business application. So when these systems do join, training room 1 will talk to the DMA. That DMA will realize that training room 1 is a standards-based group series codec. It's going to dump it on the RMX onto a scheduled bridge. As far as the H323 older standards-based conferencing, it's going to dial its dialing string, and it's going to communicate with the DMA, and then be dumped onto the RMX2 as well. As far as Huddle Room 1 and your remote worker connecting through its Skype for Business application, they're going to be dumped onto O365 Skype for Business AVMCU, which is its bridge. And then there's going to be the RealConnect link tying these two together. And if any kind of content is shared during this call, you will have that Content Connect link also initiated for the transcoding between the two standards. So, it's a basic, simple overview of, how this call would be initiated from invite into connection. Now, one of the things we still have not touched on is our standardization on the endpoints. Now, with Polycom, there are many. They have many solutions for different types of rooms and different types of solutions that you need for those rooms. As we mentioned here, the trio. So I'm going to break this down into room styles, right? We're going to start with the huddle room to anything that I would consider a medium conference room. All right. The trio would be a solution. Now this trio is a Skype for Business capable, so it can register directly with Skype for Business. You can also do the hybrid registration, where you can also have line 2 connect to the Avaya system. So it can still be your conference phone for those non-Skype for Business meetings, but when it's a Skype for Business, you select line 1 and connect through Skype for Business. The trio comes in 2 standards, right? You got the 8500 and the 8800. The way I look at this, if you have to pick up any more than 14 feet for audio participants, the 8500, once you get up to 20 feet or more, we can look at the 8800. Both of these kind of have ability for being Skype for Business video enabled by adding a Visual Plus and a camera solution. That camera solution can be either the USB or a USB pan tilt zoom camera. Now, by putting this in there, you get the single user interface on that trio, and you put it in all your huddle rooms to medium. It gives you that that same look and feel for that style of room. Now, when we start getting into the larger, say, executive or training rooms, what we're going to look at is the Polycom Group Series line of codecs. They have a few of the, a few in there, starting with the Group Series 310, 500, and 700, and it really is going to depend on what these room requirements are. Depending on what the room requirements are, will depend on what kind of what codec we recommend. Whether it's going to be a single monitor solution, a dual monitor solution, a single camera, multi-camera solution. So, the Group Series codecs. Again, standardizing in the same codec line. You just going from the 310 up to the 700 just gives you more, inputs, outputs, capabilities within that codec line. As with the Trio and the different options, the codecs, you have a lot of different options too. You have multiple camera options. These camera options will include, a 4x zoom camera, a 12x zoom camera. You also have the Polycom Eagle Eye Director, which is a camera tracking camera. This solution is a 2-camera tracking, so one camera will focus on the active speaker, where the secondary camera keeps a full room shot. And when you're transmitting that video for the active speaker, it'll still put that full room shot in the PIP within that video stream to be sent to the far end. So they can still understand that, yes, this is the active speaker, but there's other people in the room. And then they also have Polycom Producer. The Producer is a single camera tracking system. Now, the single camera tracking system will track to the active speaker and the participants within the room. There are some restrictions, not restrictions, but there are some guidelines for these cameras within the Polycom Director. It's 10 meters to the farthest participant for the tracking capability, and then with the Producer, it is 7 meters, I believe. All right. We also have different kind of microphone options within this group series. You have table microphones, and Polycom offers a great ceiling microphone too as well. Now, going into the audio solution or the audio capabilities of this, Polycom has feature sets within these codecs and solutions for noise block. Now, what that does is that takes care of any of those unwanted noises within the room, the paper crumbling, potato chip bag, keyboard typing, pen tapping, all that stuff. It will recognize that as non-speech and then not send that to the far end. Also, we have what we call acoustic fence. This is another blocking type of solution, but it's more for blocking any external noises from getting into the room or the space that you're holding your conversation, such as you have a noisy hallway, or you're in New York City with traffic noise outside your door that there's just you're not going to get rid of. So this allows us to handle those unwanted noises. Also within the audio solutions sets that we have is Polycom has a great audio DSP, the sound structure solution, which allows us to take that further on, in manipulating the audio within the room for best communication. We also have the touch control as an option. Now, that touch control can be tied into the Group Series codecs as your single user interface. This is where tying it into one-touch dialing is very neat, very, I guess it's really going to help drive that user adoption, right? It's going to be that key point, right? That single user interface, tying into one-touch dialing, giving you that nice calendar invite with that green button to push to join your call. We also have presentation applications, and what we have here is the Pano. Now, the Pano is what I've been presenting on. So I want you guys to understand the Pano is a wireless presentation gateway, right? It allows you to connect wirelessly, and it does have a wired input too as well. But as far as connecting wirelessly, you can connect through your corporate network, your guest network, and you can connect utilizing from a desktop application, from a wireless device or a personal device such as a tablet, phone. It's iOS and Android capable with mirror casting and iPlay. It does have, as you can tell, blackboarding capability. It has an infinite amount of space. Has the capability for taking snapshots and bringing up multiple images. Now these multiple images can be live presentation devices, or they can bring up, your saved pictures, shots. And you can also annotate over these as well. Now, just like to say that, this as a full solution set coming from Polycom would be, would solve your, let me pull this back up. It solves our challenges for growth, right? It's flexible with the Polycom Clarity and the licensing, right? It's flexible, it can grow with you. Yeah, we're going to solve your challenges with the aged equipment by proposing a solution refresh and standardization that would help with our user adoption. In addition, with going into the cloud and refreshing the endpoints, we're also going to alleviate the need for IT support on every single call, just to initiate it, to schedule it, just to get it up and running, which again will help drive user adoption. Now, this solution will be completed by Carousel and Polycom, as Polycom will be hosting that Clarity in their private cloud. The solution will also include pre-design, workshops, solution designing with Polycom and Carousel hand in hand, as well as, implementation, project management, day 2 support. And this will also translate down into the training room or the endpoint refresh too as well, working with Carousel and Polycom to implement the right solution for the right requirements within that space that room needs. And let me know if anybody has any questions. I'll be happy to answer.
So I have a couple of questions. You had talked a lot about the user adoption and a couple different products, the Trio and the Group Series. How do those interfaces make user adoption? What's so special?
Well, first off, we're going to have a single user interface for the larger conference rooms, right? It's going to drive user adoption by making it easy to join and to manipulate these rooms, whether or not it's sharing content, joining the call, microphone muting, that kind of stuff. So we're going to standardize on that single interface, that user interface, allowing us to help drive adoption, so that when you go from this room A to room B, it's going to be the same interface.
Okay, so no user confusion there.
Yes.
And you also said something during your executive presentation about Avaya integration. Did I miss that and not hear about it again? What's going on there? Because you drew it.
Yeah. So
how's that work?
So the Avaya integration allows you to take anybody that's going to be dialing in from their Avaya phone. Maybe it's on their desk, right? They're not going to join via Skype for Business or a hardware endpoint, right? So what this is going to do is that Avaya, with the symlink to the DMA, is going to allow this user on the phone to hit the DMA and be able to be either dumped into the RMX for just an audio endpoint for a standard space call, but if it does tie back into Skype for Business, it'll also be available in that call to that interrupt call.
Okay. And then one of the things you talked about is IT support, and there's a lot of services. So how much does my IT team need to be involved with putting the solution together, and how long does it take? What does that look like?
Well, as far as your IT team, when we're going to be doing our review calls to set up what this is, obviously we're going to need to have them involved for our integration into their network, as well as into their 365 deployment. So they will have some involvement, but the IT support day two is what we want to alleviate at this point, right? The need for them to come out to any room, initiate that call, or you call them to make sure that, hey, can you schedule this room? Because, you don't know if that's scheduled, right? So you don't have that capability. So you need to work with that support team to set up and initiate calls, in addition to upgrading them too. So as far as that, we are going to alleviate that. And as far as, day two support with anything that's going to be done in the Clarity Stack, as far as support will not be on their hands. It's going to be handled by Polycom.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No, I think you covered it pretty good and everything, so thank you.